The Raven by Edgar Allan Poe. Once upon a midnight dreary, while I pondered weak and weary over many a quaint and curious volume of forgotten lore, while I nodded nearly napping, suddenly there came a tapping, as though someone gently rapping at my chamber door. "'Tis some visitor," I muttered, tapping at my chamber door. "Only this, and nothing more." I remember, it was in the bleak December, and each separate dying ember wrought its ghost upon the floor. Eagerly I wished the morrow, vainly I had sought to borrow from my books surcease of sorrow for the lost Lenore, for the rare and radiant maiden who the angels named Lenore, nameless here, forevermore. And the silken, sad, uncertain rustling of each purple curtain thrilled me, filled me with fantastic terrors never felt before, so that now to the still beating of my heart I stood repeating, "'Tis some visitor entreating entrance at my chamber door. Some late visitor entreating entrance at my chamber door. This is it, and nothing more." Presently my soul grew stronger, then no longer. "Sir," said I, or "Madam, truly your forgiveness I implore. But the fact is I was napping, and so gently you came a-rapping, so faintly you came tapping at my chamber door, that I scarce was sure I heard you." Here I opened the wide door. Darkness there, and nothing more. Deep into that darkness peering, long I stood there, wondering, fury, doubting, dreaming, dreams no mortals ever dared dream before. But the silence was unbroken, the stillness gave no token, and the only word here spoken was the whispered word, "Lenore." This I whispered, and echo murmured back the word, "Lenore." Merely this, and nothing more. Back into the chamber turning, all my soul within me burning. Again I heard a tapping, louder than before. "Surely," said I, "surely that is something at my window lattice. Let me see, then, where that is, and this mystery explore. Let my heart be still a moment, and this mystery explore. 'Tis the wind, and nothing more." Open here I flung the shutter, when with many heart aflutter, in there stepped a stately raven of saintly days of yore. Not the least obedience made he, not a minute stopped or stayed he, but with mien of lord or lady, perched above my chamber door, perched upon a bust of Pallas, just above my chamber door, perched and sat, and nothing more. Then this ebony bird beguiling my sad fancy into smiling by the grave and stern decorance of the countenance of war. "Though my crest be shorn and shaven, thou," I said, "art sure no craven?" Ghastly grim ancient raven wandering from the nightly shore. "Tell me what thy lordly name is on the night's Plutonian shore," quoth the raven. "Nevermore." Much I marveled this ungainly fowl to hear discourse so plainly, though its answer little meaning, little relevancy bore. For we cannot help agreeing that no living human being ever yet was blessed with seeing bird above his chamber door, bird or beast upon the sculpted bust above his chamber door, with such a name as Nevermore. But the raven, sitting lonely on the placid bust, spoke only that one word, as if his soul in that one word he did outpour. Nothing farther he uttered, not a feather then he fluttered, till I scarcely more than uttered, "Other friends have flown before. On that morrow he will leave me, as my hopes have flown before." Then the bird said, "Nevermore." Startled at the stillness broken by a reply so aptly spoken, "Doubtless," said I, "what it utters, it's only stock and store, caught from some unhappy master whom unmerciful disaster followed fast and followed faster till his songs one burden bore, till the dirges of his hope that melancholy bore of nevermore. But the raven still beguiling all my sad soul into smiling, straight I wheeled a cushioned seat in front of bird and bust and door. Then upon the velvet sinking I took myself to linking fancy unto fancy, thinking what this ominous bird of yore, what the grim, ghastly gaunt of ominous bird of yore meant in croaking nevermore. This I sat engaged in guessing, but no syllable expressing to the fowl whose fiery eyes now burned into my bosom core. This more I sat divining, with my head at ease reclining on the cushion's velvet lining that the lamplight gloated o'er, but whose violet lining with the lamplight gloating o'er, she shall press, nevermore. Then methought the air grew denser, perfume from unseen censer, swung by seraphim whose footfalls tinkled on the tough floor. Wretch! I cried, thy God hath lent me by these angels that has sent me respite and nepentine from thy memories of Lenore. Quaff this nepentine, and forget this lost Lenore. Quoth the raven, nevermore. Prophet, said I, thing of evil, prophet still, if bird or devil, whether thy tempter set or tempter toss thee here ashore, desolate yet all daunted, on this desert land enchanted, on this home of horror haunted, tell me truly, I implore, is there a balm Gilead? Tell me, I implore. Quoth the raven, nevermore. Prophet, said I, thing of evil, prophet still, if bird or devil, by heaven that bends above us, by that God we both adore, tell this soul with sorrow laden, if within dole I din, if shall clasp a saint maiden whose this angels name Lenore, clasp a rare radiant maiden whom the angels name Lenore. Quoth the raven, nevermore. Be that word our sign of parting, bird or fiend, I shrieked, upstarting. Get thee back into the tempest of the night's Plutonian shore. Leave me no black plume of token o'er thy that low hath unspoken. Leave me my loneliness unbroken. Quit thy bust above my door. Take my beak from out my heart, and take thy form from out my door. Quoth the raven, nevermore. And the raven, never fleeting, still is sitting, on the pallid bust of Pallas just above my chamber door. And his eyes all have the seeming of a demon that is dreaming, and the lamplight o'er him streaming throw his shadow on the floor. And my soul from out that shadow that lies floating on the floor shall be lifted nevermore.